Hello, my friends. And it looks like pretty soon we'll be keeping an eye on Belarus too, as it seems like Lukashenko is essentially starting to declare war on the Baltic countries.
Nous allons parler des nouvelles folies du dictateur et ami de Poutine Lukashenko en Biélorussie, qui, dans un accès de virilisme, a voulu un petit peu lui aussi avoir sa perspective de guerre. Et sa perspective de guerre, c'est envahir un petit corridor qui est 50% balte et 50% polonais, qui permet de joindre le Bélarus, donc les anciens pays de l'URSS, à cette exclave qui est Kaliningrad. Vous voyez, donc il fait...
L'exclave russe.
L'exclave russe qui fait 90 km, voilà. Ouais. Et donc, en gros, entre ce petit morceau de Russie isolé qui est Kaliningrad, que vous voyez
voilà.
là...
C'est un fin ruban, là, entre la Biélorussie en orange et Kaliningrad en orange.
Voilà. Iva connaît très bien car elle y était encore il y a quelques temps.
Voilà, mais j'y suis pas passée parce qu'il n'y a pas de route, on ne peut pas y passer.
Ouais,
c'est simplement, vous voyez, quand il y avait l'URSS jusqu'à 1991, la Kaliningrad n'était pas une exclave. Kaliningrad faisait partie du bloc. C'est depuis la dislocation de l'URSS qu'elle n'en fait plus partie. Voilà. Un petit corridor qui fait 85 km de long. Et en fait, ça date du traité de 1920, du traité de paix entre la Pologne et la Lituanie.
Lithuania summoned the Belarusian ambassador over Lukashenko's threats to the Baltic countries and Poland.
On October 30th, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Lithuania summoned Yaroslav Khmyl, the acting trustee of the Republic of Belarus, and presented him with a note of protest expressing a strong protest against the speech of Pavel Murevich, First Deputy Secretary of State of the Security Council of the Republic of Belarus, published in the publication Resignations, on October 24th of this year. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Lithuania notes that such statements can be understood as an open threat to Lithuania to attack it and are completely unacceptable. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Lithuania demanded that Belarus immediately provide an official explanation of the speech of the First Deputy Secretary of State of the Security Council of the Republic of Belarus and recalled that the Republic of Lithuania would take all possible measures to ensure the security, sovereignty and territorial integrity of the country.
As it seems, Lukashenko will soon back down from his statement. So what do you think about this? Share your thoughts in the comments. In fact, it's crucial to end the war in Ukraine as soon as possible to prevent it from escalating into a global conflict. However, Ukraine currently urgently needs assistance from the US to turn this situation on the front lines. And the Biden administration has decided to transfer 25 fifth-generation F-35 fighter jets to Israel. However, in Israel, combat operations have essentially ceased, with only minor territory clearing operations ongoing. So there are no large-scale offensive actions like those on the Ukrainian front. But perhaps Israel is more important for the US. And Zelensky emphasized once again in his interview that without US support, the Ukrainian Armed Forces will have to retreat.
The congressional delay in approving a $60 billion military aid package has been costly for Ukraine, Zelensky said. The military has been unable to plan future operations while legislators squabbled for nearly 6 months. He warned that hard-pressed Ukrainian forces might have to retreat to secure their front lines and conserve ammunition. If there is no U.S. support, it means that we have no air defense, no Patriot missiles, no jammers for electronic warfare, No. 155mm artillery rounds, he said. It means we will go back, retreat, step by step, in small steps. We are trying to find some way not to retreat, Zelensky continued. After the Russian capture of Avdiivka in February, he said, we have stabilized the situation because of smart steps by our military. If the front remains stable, he said, Ukraine can arm and train new brigades in the rear to conduct a new counteroffensive later this year. Zelensky summed up the zero-sum reality of this conflict. If you are not taking steps forward to prepare another counteroffensive, Russia will take them. That's what we learned in this war. If you don't do it, Russia will do it.
Similarly, due to the complex situation in Ukraine, we are witnessing more and more resignations every day. As you already know, Zaluzhny is now the ambassador to Great Britain, and Danilov, who was also recently removed from his position, will become the ambassador to Moldova. And Zelensky announced this.
Alexei Danilov will continue his work on the diplomatic front. More specifically, I have approved his candidacy as the new ambassador of our state to the Republic of Moldova.
Very interesting. Somehow, not many people are staying in Ukraine. So what do you think about of this? Please write your thoughts in the comments. Nevertheless, the fight on the front line continues for us. And let's start with the Bakhmut direction. Here, the Ukrainian Armed Forces are succeeding. As you may remember, yesterday, the occupiers broke through to Chasiv Yar and the Novy micro-district. However, the Ukrainian Armed Forces successfully repelled all attacks and the front line remains unchanged, which is reassuring. Moreover, in the areas of Bogdanivka and Ivanivska, the occupiers also don't have any successes. There are no offensive actions being conducted there today. Attacks are only been recorded in Klishchiivka and Andriivka. So in the past day, there were 2 attacks, and the Ukrainian forces continue to successfully destroy the occupiers, with the front line unchanged. In the Avdiivka direction, after yesterday's lull, the occupiers have resumed assaults. So, as expected, they are once again attempting to break through to the village of Umanske. They are moving across the fields with several groups simultaneously, so the situation is complex. However, we are still waiting to see how these attacks will end. Battles also continue in the Berdychi area, but the Ukrainian Armed Forces are holding the defense with all their might and are not retreating from their positions. Further south, active fighting has also resumed for Pervomaiske and Nevelske. In the past day, 16 attacks were recorded along the entire Avdiivka direction. However, the Ukrainian Armed Forces are maintaining defense and the front line remains unchanged. In the Marinka direction, the occupiers continue to conduct approximately 20 assaults per day as before. So attacks have resumed on Krasnohorivka, Georgiivka and Novomykhailivka. The situation is challenging, but the Ukrainian Armed Forces repel all attacks and the front line remains unchanged for the day. In the Vuhledar direction, attacks near Vuhledar have resumed. So the General Staff reports attacks on Vadiane. So it appears that the Russians have once again brought up reserves and started another wave of attacks. So we are waiting to see what they achieve this time. Additionally, fighting continues in the area of Staromayorsk, and here, as before, the front line remains unchanged. In the Zaporizhia direction, the occupiers have increased the number of shelling today, both along the front line and in the rear. At the same time, offensive actions continue in the area of Verbove. However, over the day, the front line remains unchanged. In the Kherson direction, the occupiers continue shelling the right bank. Once again, attempts are being made to push the Ukrainian Armed Forces out of the village of Krenki on the left bank. So the situation is complex, but our units continue to maintain control over the stronghold. Now, let's move on to the Luhansk direction. So in the area of Siversk, the occupiers persist in assaulting Bilogorivka and continue shelling the settlement. However, they haven't achieved any successes as before, and the front line remains unchanged. In the direction of Kremenna, the occupiers are also assaulting the village of Terny. And it seems that they have had no success for several months, judging by the number of offensive actions. So they conduct from 3 to 5 attacks per day. They no longer have enough strength to carry out a large-scale offensive. Most likely, they are simply conserving resources for a new wave of attacks in the summer. So we are waiting to see how the situation will develop further. In the area of Svatove, there are also minimal shelling and no attacks. Therefore, the situation remains unchanged. And in the direction of Kupiansk, I think everyone remembers how it was announced that the Russians were importing a huge number of troops and tanks to storm Kupiansk. And as it turns out, the Ukrainian Armed Forces successfully dealt with them and gradually defeated all their forces. So now the situation has stabilized. And that's all from me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.